around the country. So at any rate, it's an honor to have a contest named after you, and we try and honor our members that way. The third member.
Some of the Apple stuff's torn apart and what you have to go through. Like on the Air models, on the MacBook Air models, just to replace the SSD hard drive.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of odd jobs.
And it's going to take, what, 3 weeks to fix, over?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
This is the Yaesu FT-902DM. It's a classic vintage Yaesu radio. It was sold at the late 70s, early 80s. This was Yaesu's flagship model in those days. It was the top of the line radio. It's also the last one in a generation of radios that were hybrids. All transistor receiver and a tube PA. So receiver exciter is solid state. The PA is with 6146Bs, 2 of them in parallel. The DM was the most expanded model they had in this series, meaning the radio has the DC-DC converter, the fan is in there, the memory unit is in there, the FM unit is in there, and this one also has all the additional filters installed, the AM filter and the CW filter, on top of course of the single sideband filters that are already in there. It is a remarkable radio. The 902 was actually the successor to the 901. It looks very similar. The difference is in the receiver front end. This one has a balanced ring mixer with Schottky barrier diodes, which is superior to the ones that are used in the 901, which uses 2 JFETs if I'm not mistaken. This one also has all the WARC bands. Earlier 901 models don't have this. The 902 has all the WARC bands installed as well. We can go quickly over the features. Like I said, it's all mode, upper sideband, lower sideband, CW, FSK, AM and FM. So this one does have FM, works quite well actually. Here we have a notch filter, they call it reject. It's an RF notch filter, not an audio notch filter. It has a real variable bandwidth control. It's not an IF shift, so actually you wouldn't even need the additional 500 Hz filter. This is done with 2 filters, of which one is mixed up in frequency, where the same oscillator is used to mix down again, so the filters kind of slide over each other, and as they slide away from each other, the bandwidth gets narrower. It's quite a novel way to do it. Radio has what is this here? I don't know what that is. There is an audio filter for a passband filter for CW. Of course, you don't want to use it for. You can hear the filter sliding. It's an audio passband filter for CW. Monitor, you can listen to your own signal. AGC, that's the receiver gain, automatic gain control, slow, fast and off. For single sideband you put it on slow. Output meter shows either the current in the PA tubes, the output power itself, or the ALC for the power amplifier. Noise blanker and a market generator is in there. The tubes can be switched off the heater, so if you only listen like we're doing now, the tubes will last longer. Microphone gain, squelch only works in FM. APF we already discussed. Carrier is used for AM. You can set the carrier to 25 watts for optimal amplitude modulation, which gives you 100 watt PEP for AM. There is a Curtis keyer in there. Fox gain. Has that too. You can set the intensity of the display and the backlights. Let's have a look at this here. Now I said the radio has a memory. It is a digital memory that clones the VFO. It's basically a synthesizer. You can also use that as a second VFO to create shifts, which I'll show you later for the FM mode. So you can do split frequency for pileups in contesting or for shifts for FM on 10 meter. If I press this button, it will load the memory. If I then tune away, I can recall the memory. It does that a little bit slow because it's a very slow loop constant for the synthesizer. So you see now we are on the digital VFO. If I can set it such that I receive on this VFO, transmit on the other one, or other way around, receive on this VFO, transmit on the digital VFO. So that creates your shift if you needed that. So you do not really need the additional external VFO that also exists for this radio. It's already built in this one. Told you it has all the filters. 500 Hz filter is also used for FSK with a different carrier point. AM, which I'll show you later. FM, which obviously is not going to work, but I'll show you that later too. Not going to work for single sideband, but it works quite well. Like I told you, it has all the bands, 160 all the way till 10 meter. 10 meter is split in 4 500 kilohertz segments. There is a preselector which also functions as the PA drive. Plate and loading. There is a tune button which allows you to set these knobs and this one as well during transmit. There is a very effective speech processor in this radio that really works fantastic. The speech processor has its own crystal filter. That's probably the reason why it works so well. That was allowed to cost some bucks when they designed this radio. I always run it with the speed processor because it works so much better. There is of course an RF gain and a clarifier, and I think that kind of wraps it up for everything we have on this radio. Attenuator, I forgot that. Oops. Go back to the VFO.
About a half an hour ago.
That's the attenuator. Don't really need it, of course, but on the lower bands in the evening, it sometimes is helpful. As you see, great radio. This particular one is like mint condition. Microphone is not having a scratch on it. Original microphone. It's pretty heavy. It's not a light radio. As you can see, this is the DC-DC converter. This is the fan, which only runs when you turn on the PA.
He wasn't able to get rid of those packets. And
tune's very nice. It's a good feel. The mechanical dial is actually pretty accurate. If I go to 300, you can actually set that. So this is 300. If I go to 5, you see I'm right on. Mechanical dial matches the digital dial perfectly. Radio is exactly on frequency and it's stable. This is the Maritime Network Service Network, exactly at 14.3. Great radio. A quick look inside of the radio. The radio is solid state except for the PA that uses two 6146B tubes, and this is the driver tube. The rest is all transistor. This is the compartment for all the electronics. As you can see, it is modular plug-in boards. It's built very professionally. This is the optional FM board which is installed. It has all the filters, as I'll show you in a minute. It's really built like a tank. It's a very nicely constructed radio. Alright, took the filter board out, as you can see. Plugs right in there. I think single sideband AM filter and CW filter 500 Hz, 6 kilohertz and 2.5 kilohertz. Those are not the only filters in the radio. There is a another filter here for the noise blanker, crystal filter, and there is a not for the noise blanker, for the speech processor, and there is another crystal filter here to support the variable IF width feature that the radio has, and there is even a crystal filter in the FM board that is you can see it shiny there. That's it. So the radio has a total of 6 crystal filters. That means all options are basically installed in this one. Alright, we'll give a little demonstration of the FN mode. The radio is capable of repeater shifts, and you can do that by using the digital VFO. I have programmed that here. For instance, the VFO is now at 29.520, the digital VFO, and the analog VFO is at 29.620. So I can basically press this button, that means only digital VFO during transmit, and when I do that, you can see it will basically preserve the shift that way. I'll show you the modulation. This is our monitor receiver in FM at 29.520. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 testing. This is FM mode, sounds very good. That was the transmitted FM. Let's go to the receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a receiving FM. That sounds very well. The radio puts out about 70 watts in FM. That is the way it's supposed to be. The manual explains that in the continuous duty cycle modes like FM, AM and FSK, the PA is limited to 70 watt internally. As you can see here, 75 watts. 1, 2, 3. That sounds very nice. I can't show you any repeaters or let you listen to those because there is absolutely no propagation right now. But that should not be a problem once that comes back again. Output test for the 20 meter band. We also test the modulation on this band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's exactly on frequency. And we have 115 watts. This is the lower sideband test. Lower sideband test at 20 meters. We have the monitor at lower sideband. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It works well. Output test for the 160 meter band. 160 meter band. It's about 125 watts. 125 watts. We're now on 80 meters on amplitude modulation.
Heating those components up with that tube and the VR and everything. Here, use the crystal. It's a lot easier on the Viking Valiant. Might need the VFO for something else. We're off a little bit. Let's see, book 7, 08, 01. These are all messed up, or these go back to book 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay, so it's further than that. Hook 5.
See if there's anything going on in single sideband.
Saturdays ago, whatever it was, I went into work, and I guess they announced it that Saturday morning. Buzz did on the old Ghost that he had passed, and I didn't know that, and I'm riding home listening on 40.
Let's look what the output power is. We're going to the dummy load again. I'll just do a tune. Output power on 80 meters is exactly 150 watts. Let's see what happens if we modulate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reaches 140 watts peak at 80 meters. Not too much going on here. It's too late in the day.
I get that for you. You'll have to look up Lee's call. Just put it like leak tractor or whatever, and now it.
We'll demonstrate the transmitter at this frequency. We'll switch to the dummy load. This is the microphone. It's about 125 watts. 125 watts. We're back on the antenna.
Ohio was kicking them, all them boys' nose was bleeding whenever I flipped the cancel. Yeah, the Rams was just a name, and they just got a name. They got some tough-looking helmets too, kind of like them ducks up there in Oregon.
Output test for the 30 meter band. We are at the 30 meter band. One, two, three. 115 watts. 115 watts. Here we have the output test for the 17 meter band. 17 meter band. $115 watts. 115 watts. Output test for the 15 meter band. 15 meter band. One, two, three. 15 meters is about 115 watts. This is the output test for the 12 meter band. 12 meter band. It's about 120 watts. Here we do a output test on the 10 meter band, the single sideband section of the 10 meter band. As you see, it's a little bit more than 100 watts. This is the output power test at the highest band, the 10 meter D section. It's a little bit more than 100 watts.
I got your call sign. It's SL7 Foxtrot
kilowatt, am I correct?
Yeah, kilowatt London 7, Foxtrot. Was that in that road? Charlie, Niner, Indianapolis Hotel, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Good to hear you. And 7 CDH time go.
Well, I got a feeling we're going to be stuck up here in Wisconsin for the duration, you know. We're going to be...
Alright, that kind of wraps it up. The Yaesu FT-902DM classic vintage HF SSB radio. And they literally don't make them like this anymore. Built like a tank, loaded with features, metal die-cast aluminum front panel, no plastic on this one, and it's like mint condition. Thank you for watching this video.